Right, gents, let's look forward to another fight. August 5th, Texas.
Super interested to talk about this.
Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Paul coming off a loss. Diaz finally out of his UFC contract, gets to enter this world, make a paycheck. Try and get some new fans. Wade, let me start with you on this one. You're going to be there?
Well, full disclosure, now that Andy's leaked it, I will be working the card. I'll be there August 5th for Nate versus Jake. I'll be calling some of the fights. But, I mean, I look at this as what a lot of people see it as. Nate's, testing free agency and seeing that Jake pulls a lot of eyes. Going to get a big paycheck to come do this. But one thing you don't do with Nate Diaz is think he's not going to show up in shape, ready to fight.
Did you see some sparring footage that came out?
I did. A lot of people, I think, hyped it to be something it wasn't. He was like, oh, this is a 31 in profile. I'm like, it's not. But he does what Nate does. Yeah. Swarms you. Yeah. Continuous, laughing at your shots, throwing to the body. That's really a big key. Not a lot of people have thrown to Jake's body like that. I really want to see how that goes. But he works the body. It's a little awkward. It's smothering. There's shots that you don't see. There's things that Nate can do here. Does that mean he will do them? No, I don't think so.
Time and time again, we've seen this, particularly with Jake, bringing in MMA fighters. And we're saying that it doesn't convert. Good striking at MMA does not convert to boxing. Is Jake Paul, look, he's coming off a loss to Tommy Fury. He doesn't want to go 2 losses in a row.
Right.
Diaz is a huge name, a huge scalp to take. Yeah. But is it, when you break it down, Leon, is it, I'm not going to say an easy fight.
It's a confident booster.
Yes.
Just to get the confidence again.
Is that what Jake's doing here?
100%. If he's an honest man, he'll tell you the same. You know what, I just came off a loss. Few adjustments to the camp.
Biggest name,
biggest
adjustments. You've got Larry W.A.D. now.
Back you got with, Third Chambers. You got Shane Mosley. It's a whole new camp.
Yeah. Chambers the
Third
guy.
Chambers.
Third Chambers.
Third Chambers.
So he's just trying to get his bounce again. Personally, I think he's going to still come out and fight the way he did. His usual style, patient, not throwing that many, slow starts.
What do you think we'll see from Nate? Again, the footage that came out, it's the striking. We're used to that slapping type.
It's slapping. It's the gimmick, the smiling, the talking. Nate's going to be Nate.
Yep.
Nate's going to be Nate. Just can't take you down. He can't submit you.
We look at Nate Diaz. One thing we know is he's got a gas tank. He's resilient. He's a bleeder. I mean, this will be an exciting fight, whichever way it goes, I think, Daley.
Yeah, I think the only way he can win Nate Diaz is if he takes it into a dogfight and just takes Jake, dirty
boxing.
Yeah, and just takes Jake out of his comfort zone. Probably, do a few MMA tricks on the inside.
But think about it. Even the Tyron Woodley second fight, Jake was super uncomfortable in that fight.
Yeah.
It was really
But this is what I'm saying. I think, that the loss to Tommy Fury humbled him.
Yes.
And
he said that.
And then, now he understands where he's at. And that's why you're seeing people like Shane Mosley come back and train him so he can actually start boxing. Because, Jake Paul, actually, he's got a dig on him. So all what's missing is knowing how to set things up, working behind a jab and everything like that. He weren't doing that against Tommy Fury. He was just trying to swing shots.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And landed too.
Yeah, and they were missing. So he's got power.
How do you rate Jake as a boxer? Again, he's still a relative novice. What is he, 3 years into his journey now? How do you rate him as a competitor?
Yeah, I rate him as in he takes it seriously, the craft and everything. He's willing to learn. He's showing his maturity by losing to Tommy Fury and go, right, I need to assess a few things. He brought Shane Mosley back and all that. So I like Jake Paul. When I look at him, I can see where, if I was to train him, where he can improve, you know what I mean? Different areas. But I think he's also a very good businessman, and he's getting Nate Diaz at the right time just to look good and do some damage.
Is this easy money for Jake then, we think?
Yeah.
A nice win, easy money,
Yeah,
and a great name.
It'll take a few hits, but it's easy, not easy now, but he's going to get the win. He'll get the win.
I think he'd be surprisingly strong. Nate Diaz wants to get it there, but I think he'd be surprised
strong
even when he takes it there.
Yeah.
How does, look, for Nate
that's a big point.
For Nate to have the best chance of success, how does Nate approach this fight?
Honestly, Nate would have to change a lot about what he does. Nate is a slow starter in his own right.
Yeah.
He's not a guy that starts fast.
Yeah.
Look at what Jake struggles with, fast starters.
Is it on 10 rounds? Are we doing 10 rounds on this one?
I don't know if they've officially agreed to it. I know it's at least 8, but I think they were saying something about 10.
Well, there's the problem right there. That's why he needs to knock Jake Paul out within the first few rounds.
Start quick on him, right? And even just make Jake uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's it.
And get in that clinch and make him
I
uncomfortable.
personally think he's getting a nice, big, massive check. You know what I mean? He doesn't really want to fight anymore. That's my eyes. He's getting a nice check. He'd go in there, he try to entertain the crowd, and then smoke a big joint afterwards. You know what I mean?
Listen.
No, but see, Nate
Nate's
does not
different,
want to, he doesn't want to lose to a YouTuber.
Different though. He
can't.
is. He's different.
Yeah.
It's
Nah,
not.
Stockton,
They Stockton 209. They don't just take fights. You know what I'm saying? And just go in and. But I get what you're saying. This is a massive paycheck. How motivated is he? I think there's a little bit more maybe from the fact that a lot of MMA guys get in and get smoked. And it's just like, okay, here comes another one.
Yeah.
And Nate has never been looked at as a boxer. Everyone's saying, oh, Nate's... It shows you sometimes how many people actually watch MMA and boxing. It's like, oh, Nate's a wrestler.
Is there much footage on him leading up to this fight?
Not really.
One clip's leaked out today, and it's very murky.
It's just what you expect out of Nate. Now, granted, again, the point about this being the right time is the right point.
Yeah.
Because in 2016, that era, Nate...
Yeah, it's different.
Man.
But if you think about all his opponents apart from Tommy Fury, it's good business.
Oh, it's a great
Getting them all at the right age.
It's a great.
He's been managed.
Even Anderson Silva, you know what I mean?
Perfect time.
Perfect time. Yeah.
But if you would have tried this with Nate in the 2016, 2017, granted that's so long, I understand that. Ask Andre Ward how he did with Nate sparring.
That's what I said though. If he was to fight 5 years ago,
It'd be
different story. But again, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt because not much footage has come out with him. He could be behind closed doors training like an absolute
we know
lunatic.
Nate's going to have a gas tank.
The guy swims to Alcatraz and back. Does triple marathon.
He's doing triathlon and stuff like that.
He's got guys like that.
Ain't it dangerous at the Alcatraz?
These fools are dangerous, bro.
He's trying to escape prison.
Yeah, it's prison.
He'll swim there and back, touch the island, come back.
With all of this, as much as we're all sitting here going, you know what, Jake Paul's got this. It's going to be an interesting fight, but Jake Paul's got this. The interesting thing is, all of us are tuning in. All of us are making sure we're watching that fight because these guys are entertaining. You know, Jake Paul's saying this fight. You got Nate Diaz, this huge name. Regardless of Nate's going to walk through this. We're watching this fight.
My question is this for you guys: should Jake beat Nate? I don't want to look past it. Whatever. What's the next fight? Does he go?
Is it Tommy? Is it KSI?
Do you do the KSI fight
Ideally
next?
KSI. I think ideally KSI.
Is that personal skin in the game? Is that
no? Because it makes more sense.
Got to make some. Got to make some peace too. You know.
They both lose. Well, one's lost to Tommy, but if both lose to Tommy,
it's natural.
Do you think the KSI
that's why I don't know why we're
fight, isn't it?
Messing with the
They
Tommy
both lost to Tommy.
Yeah.
So they see it as well. There's no shame. Look, we both lost to him.
Yeah.
You think KSI loses to Tommy?
Well, I have to be honest. I know I trained Deji.
I know, but
I have to be honest. I think KSI's only hope to beat in Tommy Fury if he lands clean on his chin, and that's it. But it's in boxing fundamentals. You know, if Tommy just keeps it simple.
And Tommy is huge. Like we were in Dubai with Tommy.
You know what? He can even knock out KSI. What am I on about?
Tommy is gargantuan.
He's a big lad, mate.
Honestly. I don't know how he even makes
Tommy
the weight
just doesn't
he
put
comes
it together yet.
Yeah.
And he hasn't had to because he's been better technically than a lot of guys. Like the fact that we're like Tommy Fury, like what are we doing, bro? These influencers and Tommy's like, oh, what? Yeah. Oh, cool. All right. Let me stick on my jab.
The thing is, people get mad, like, because they're so obsessed, innit? The fan base. Like, if you say something like,
they're so obsessed.
They're like, oh, why you say,
bro? I know.
You know,
I know, buddy.
You know that. But they don't understand. I'm saying it from a professional boxing point of view,
right.
From a mind. And in my eyes, all of them, even the ones at the top, which proved already with Tommy Fury against Jake, is that they're all novices. They're all novices. So why am I going to sit here just to please people and say, oh yeah, KSI is gonna win? I don't think he's the favourite. Do I think he's got a chance to win?
Of course.
Yes, he can. He can knock him out.
But you think then if Jake gets through this fight, and what you're predicting happens with KSI, you think that's the next logical step for both?
It's been too long.
Right now, Tommy Fury is M. Bison. But it's true. He's M. Bison.
But Jake Paul might want Jake Paul beats Nate, and then Tommy beats KSI, then that's the natural thing to do as well, to have a rematch.
But what Jake and them won is that Tommy rematch, and I'm sitting here going, why?
You go for the KSI. That's the bigger fight. That's the bigger fight.
Ego.
100%.
Ego.
The Tommy fight's always there. The Tommy fight is always there.
It's always there.
Why not go? If you both lose to Tommy, let's do the fight we all want. We all want to see. That Tommy Fury fight, it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He didn't even, in my opinion, he didn't do bad against Tommy Fury.
That's the thing. Who came out of that fight looking better?
Yeah.
Jake looked way better than
Yeah.
Tommy Fury jumping on the ropes and celebrating like he'd won an actual world championship, holding up his freaking made-for-TV Toys R Us belt and saying, "Look, Dad, I did it!" Like, what are we talking about, dude? Garbage. My thing is this: when you look at I'm just saying, bro. Guy held it up more than he held his baby. When we look at the KSI fight, I'm just saying, KSI and Tommy. I want to know your thoughts on it, because to us, we look at it like it's a lot more ways for Tommy to win. He's obviously a more technical guy. Of course. But how do you see it? Because it's your.
I've been watching boxing all my life.
Yeah.
Tommy, there's more. The advantages are in Tommy's favor.
Yeah.
Basically, JJ does have power, but he's got to be in a range to land
Apparently
power.
freakish power, by the
Yeah,
way.
he's got power, and you got to think when he swings that punch, he swings that punch.
You can see it.
You know when they say like guys believe in their stuff so much that they don't care what comes in the other direction?
Yeah.
Like Floyd,
I think
chin out.
Joe Fournier actually said that he didn't feel like KSI had that much power.
Before or after?
After the fight.
Oh wow.
After the fight.
But Tommy's got a lot to learn as well in boxing. He ain't a finished article, Tommy. You know what I mean? Even like against Jake, I expected him to make it easier against Jake, and he made it tough for himself in certain moments of that fight.
He continues to do that.
But as someone that's been boxing since a kid, and just who he's around. You know what I mean?
So let's do this then.
Just think fundamentally, he should beat KSI.
Well, let's just, if that's the route we're going to go, we say Jake beats Nate, we say Tommy beats KSI. Who wins the Jake-KSI fight?
It's a tough fight. It's a very tough fight.
Jake is significantly bigger, isn't he? Jake is significantly bigger.
Yeah, we're going to have to chalk this weight thing
now,
up to...
Now. Because JJ's bowled down.
Yeah.
So he's very light now.
That's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to make up an arbitrary number. Let's say it's 180.
180?
That they're gonna meet at. Jake will still probably get back
up
to 190.
On the night, Jake will be the bigger guy.
For sure.
Yeah.
But at that point, you're talking, okay, bigger guy. JJ's dealt with bigger guys.
Yeah. See,
overcome.
Personally, I don't think the fight is gonna be as good as we think it will be.
I've said this to a lot of people. I think we've saw what happens. When we overhype some of these fights and we get clinch fests.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
I can see that happening too.
Yeah.
Because the way both guys, and in my opinion, more so JJ, closes range.
It's a hard one because both of them don't know how to set up their shots properly yet. They don't know how to use that power. They both got power, but they're not using it in the right way, Yeah. I mean, like if you're fighting people like Temper, obviously KSI lands a shot, he's gonna go. But when you're in against an experienced fighter that's been around it since a kid and knows those twitches, knows when a punch is coming, then it'll be hard.
The last few KSI fights we've seen is Michael Venom Page-esque, almost like point karate stance.
Yeah.
Do you think that is the way that KSI should continue to go? That quick closing distance, or do you think when he gets against someone,
if you come against a boxer, then
I was gonna say,
you're gonna be.
Why are you laughing?
If you come against a boxer,
does that only work to a certain point, and then
it works
that's what it is.
It works with a certain level.
Yes.
It works with a certain level.
We asked guys that do this. I asked Wonderboy. I asked Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I said, bro, you tell me. He goes, when he's better than guys or when he's on the same level, this will work. If he comes against a boxer that understands timing and distance, it's going to be bad.
Then it can be very bad.
That gets interesting because for me watching those, that's what's brought him to success the last couple of fights. When he gets to a level where he can't do that, what does JJ have?
But the funny thing is, when I was watching that fight and he started doing that, just like Leon and Wade said, I could see what he was going to do when he started jumping up and down like that.
Of course,
And with a good fighter, all you're going to do is just dance off, move off. You know what I mean?
Can't freeze in the headlights with that. That's
You
what
know
he
what I
wants.
mean?
He wants to freeze.
You know what I mean? But there's nothing wrong with bouncing up and down like that. What he's doing is actually right, but you just got to learn to manipulate it where it's not obvious.
So what he's doing. He's trying to manipulate you, play the game, right? But I think for JJ, it's a great question. If he doesn't have that, what does he have? The kid's got, and Jake has it to a degree. The fight, I look at it, for me, it comes down to skill and technique because both guys just will go to whatever depth.
Yeah. If it comes to fighting, there ain't no one better than JJ in this influencer realm. When it comes to the fight, no one's got more fight than him.
Yeah.
No one's got more fight.
And he's
than
awkward
him.
with it.
Very awkward. Yeah. He's gonna
won't quit. Just like it's just not in him. It's not in him.
It's demon time with him. So when it comes to fighting, and if he can make it a fight, it's a win.
And he absolutely will try. Absolutely.
Tommy likes to move on the back foot, be scared of the power. No, not Tommy, sorry. Both of them, Tommy and Jake.
Jake, yeah.
They're both going to try and move on the outside. They're going to try and box. It's for him to make it dirty and scrappy.
And he will.
He will.
It'd be interesting to see how he deals with Tommy compared to how Jake.
He can't go in there and try and box.
Ultimately, that Jake KSI fight is the fight this entire scene is building towards. That's the fight we wanted to see since day dot.
Yeah.
And we hope we get to see that maybe by the close.
I want predictions, bro.
Yeah. Well, how do you see
I want predictions. Jake and KSI. Because I'm assuming this is going to happen. I'm assuming, it's been 5 years.
It has to happen.
We have to. Because we've already gone through what we think happens. Jake beats Nate.
Yeah.
Tommy potentially beats KSI, but we don't know. We'll see what happens. But Jake and KSI is on the table.
Before we get predictions, how does KSI react to a loss? Guy's got an ego, and he's happy to admit it. How does he react to a loss?
Bro,
He'll take it sore.
Yeah.
See him, it's no option.
Yeah.
I'll die in this ring.
Yeah.
It's not an option.
I mean, that could
It's
affect.
not an option.
But
that's why he's going to bring the fight.
So that's what I'm saying. If he were to lose to Tommy
Could
Fury,
affect it.
what do we see
It's the
moving
way.
forward?
It's the way. If he loses in a certain way. If
I
Tommy
like
goes
both
in
of them. They're both, the one thing's for sure, they're both dedicated. You know, they're both dedicated.
ridiculous.
Yeah, so
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And especially for JJ.
you can't knock them for that.
I went and watched Jake train when I was in Puerto Rico. Obviously dedication there, but for JJ, it's like it's otherworldly, bro. It's like he's doing what I do, and then going and running a full camp, and then doing Sidemen videos, and then he's doing Prime, and I'm like, there has to be another one of you somewhere.
He's an example.
Because I think I work hard. I think everybody here thinks they work hard. That guy is just like doing more.
I think look, we see these influencers, and so many of them get lost in training and don't put out the content. We've all had these conversations, but when you look at both Jake and KSI, jeez, man, I don't know how many hours are in their days because they're training. They got to rest. They got to do all their businesses. It's incredible.
When JJ shows me his calendar, I think, oh my God, this is mad.
Yeah.
How, bro? I said to him, bro, you need to go away for 3 weeks. You need a holiday.
Facts.
I tell him this all the time. I say, bro, you need a holiday.
You told him he needed a holiday and he made a song. That's what happened.
I say, you're going to burn out. But he does it, man.
Put it this way.
Incredible.
If JJ can take still it's gonna sound steal some stuff from Deji and put it into him, then he's the best one.
Interesting.
Then he's the best one out of all of it.
The whole scene.
The whole scene. If he can put boxing like some of Deji into him, because obviously his character, his demeanor, his aggression, his will, his desire, his dedication and everything. I'm not saying exactly like Deji, because Deji's got a lot of learning to do.
Natural aptitude for the sport.
Yeah. And put it into that, and then that will make him dangerous. Yeah. Dangerous. Because there's one thing having power, but then you've got to learn all the other stuff around it.
Yeah.
Personally, if JJ can make it a fight or makes it a fight, he wins both fights against Tommy and Jake. He's built different from them two. I can see it in them. They're not built like that.
When you say that, what do you mean?
The dog, the heart, the grind.
You know, I can agree with you maybe about Tommy.
Both. Obviously, Jake's grown over the years. He's matured as a man, become a man now. But
I mean,
he's still that no fight, my brother. I can see it in you.
Yeah. You know what? Tommy's, even though Tommy don't have that dog in the same way JJ has. There's been fighters out there that don't have dog and become world champions.
Yeah, it's true.
Like Paulie Malignaggi, for example. You know,
Paulie, I didn't say it, Paulie. I didn't say it. I got to see Paulie in a month. I didn't say it. Paulie grew up on the mean streets now. Come on, Queens, man. I didn't say it, Paulie.
No, he had dog because it remember that fight with Cotto. He showed heart and all that. Yeah. He had dog, but what I mean is like boxing skills.
Right.
You know, not getting dragged in to that dog fight. You know what I mean? Right. Tommy, that's all he needs to do against KSI. He doesn't need to go to war. And I reckon he can hurt KSI at that range at the same time as well. So it'd be an intriguing fight. intriguing fight. But he can't just go in there, just closing the distance, swinging, because he's going to walk onto one.
He's in trouble.
Definitely.
He's already, like, Jake walked him onto one, and thank God Tommy's got a little bit of a chin on him because he cracked him with it. And I know JJ saw that and went,
And he's been hurt before.
Yeah.
Against Logan.
Yeah. It's true.
Well,
so
look,
if it happened, Jake and KSI. See how he tried to run from it? I came back to him on it. Came back to him. Bro, listen. People are going to say...
I'm going to say Jake only because he's got boxing people that have been doing it for years behind him. And if he keeps that team of Shane Mosley, everything like that, I think that could give him the edge. Slight edge.
Leon.
If it's boxing...
You already said it, yeah.
Yeah, if it's boxing, if JJ tries to go and box with him, he's going to get outclassed. Because obviously the boxing team behind Jake is superior in terms of boxing than his guys. But JJ just needs to make it a fight. But be smart with not just going there and be smart.
The way he does.
Smart application
the way
of
he
fighting.
does.
Yeah, smart and smart pressure.
But if it comes down to fight and who's got the heart, and if it's 8 or 10 rounds, I'll put my money on my boy, man.
Because you've seen Jake, right? He shies away from those things as well. When someone closes, he doesn't really want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
It's either on his terms,
or not at
all. So yeah, if KSI closes that educated pressure, then
if JJ hurts either Tommy or Jake, it's over.
Swarm.
It's over.
He does have that. He has a bit of that killer instinct.
It's
well, it's a bit like
over.
Deontay Wilder, right?
Yeah, smelling blood. It's over.
You know, a lot of things need polishing up. You know what I mean? Which Malik Scott is trying to do. But you can't sleep even for 1 second with him. He could be losing. He could be losing 11 rounds, and then in the last round, bang.
It happened.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Wait,
that's for me. That's KSI.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to know your prediction on this fight.
I've said Jake for a long time.
Stick by that?
Sticking with it, just because, again, stuff Leon said, in an ideal world, you play probabilities. Jake has the best probability to win.
I think for myself as well, I think, look, we're going to see a lot in this Tommy and KSI fight. Then you can make a more informed decision. But as we sit here today, I have to agree with you. On all the stats, all the information we've got now, I would put Jake in there.
Yep.
Look, gentlemen, as always, a pleasure sitting down with you. We've chopped it up. So much happening on DAZN. We've got Kingpin this weekend. We've got that Jake Paul, Nate Diaz fight coming up in just a few weeks' time. We've got Misfits coming up as well. Hey,
True.
Yeah.
subscribe, come join the action. Thanks for joining in.